from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio. This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. These are the top stories we are tracking. Exxon and partners grab $94 billion in advances from oil for third production ship. Guyana takes Norway money to spend $2.5 million per megawatt on solar as world spends 5 times less for the same thing. Outgoing Tushau's Council Executives boycott conference. OPR probes alleged torture of Annandale teen while in police custody. And the Natural Resource Minister says refining of World Bank capacity building loan almost complete. Meanwhile, after 9 years wait, Tushau's get a $15,000 raise in stipend. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Go loud or go home. Never miss out on your favorite local radio segments, local and international podcasts, and DJ mixes.
That's right.
With the Go Loud app. Discover podcasts like Common Sense, Red Table Talk, The Breakfast Club, and the best mixes from DJs worldwide, and much more. Stream all of your favorite local radio stations in one app. Go loud on what matters to you. Download the Go Loud app in the App or Play Store today and start listening.
And now for the news in detail. Guyana currently has 2 FPSO producing crude oil from the Stabroek Block, the Liza Destiny and the Liza Unity, and a third is currently under construction. That FPSO, named the project, used to produce the Kaieteur development and is the largest of the first 3 production vessels to be put into operation on Guyana with a capacity of 220,000 barrels per day. The FPSO will be spread moored in water depth of about 1,900 meters and will be able to store around 200 million barrels of crude oil. The project is part of the Kaieteur development, which is the 3rd development within the Stabroek Block, located 200 kilometers offshore Guyana. According to recent financial statements filed by the oil companies, in excess of $94 billion has already been deducted as part of the 75% cost oil recovery to repay expenses incurred by the oil companies. In other news, India recently secured a $165 million loan from the World Bank to fund the development of the installation of some 450 megawatts of electricity for about $376,500 per megawatt. Guyana, on the other hand, is looking to install 33 megawatts of solar power, spending some $83.3 million or about $2.5 million per megawatt. This is according to a recent procurement notice issued by GPL for the Guyana Utility Scale Solar Photovoltaic Program. In requesting the proposal, Program Director Amir Delawar indicated that the government had secured financing under the Guyana-Norway Partnership in the amount of $83.3 million, representing the balance of funds owed to the country under its Forest Pact for the Gaisal project. And moving on, the National Tushau's Council, or NTC, conference opened yesterday at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, but an apparent rift between the former NTC executives and the government has seen the majority of the council boycotting the annual meeting between Amerindian leaders, ministers, and heads of state entities. Former NTC Secretary Russian Doric said that 4 out of the 2018 NTC executives are attending the conference only because they were in close proximity of the event. Doric reiterated that apart from not being involved in the preparation of this year's NTC conference, no invitation was extended to the council members, and so they have decided not to attend. He explained that it is expected that the Tushau's Council would play an integral role in setting the agenda to address the issues most urgent to the Amerindian people. Given that this was not done, he said invitations were supposed to be extended to the outgoing NTC, but none was forthcoming. In other news, South America has taken the exploration crown for the discovered volumes of crude oil, and the continent is set to remain a global exploration hotspot for the next 2 years, with Guyana taking the lead with a plethora of oil and gas resources already proven and drilling campaigns underway. This is according to Rystad Energy, a Norwegian independent energy research and business intelligence company that provides data, tools, analytics, and consultancy services to the global energy industry. Reporting on Latin America's regional insights for June 2022, Rystad documented that South America's position is driven primarily by activity in Guyana, Brazil, Suriname, and Colombia. Additionally, the increase in the offshore well count in the region is expected to be led by Guyana, followed by Brazil and Colombia, while onshore exploration, which has taken a back seat in the past 2 years, is on track for a comeback this year and in 2023. In other news, the Police Office of Professional Responsibility has launched an investigation into allegations that Jahim Peters was tortured and burnt by police while at the Vigilance Police Station. The police, in a report on Sunday, stated that around 10 hours that day, 17-year-old Peters, called Coolie Boy, a fisherman of Annandale, East Coast Demerara, was in custody for alleged robbery under arms. Police said Peters was alone in the lockups when they heard screams coming from there. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. And I'll just tell you, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat has confirmed that work is ongoing to refine the $20 million World Bank loan that was secured in 2019 to build capacity within the nascent oil and gas sector. The Natural Resource Minister did not give a timeline, but he said that the work should be completed soon as the relevant agents are actively engaged in bringing the scope of the project in line with the new government's vision. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 7 in Guyana. You're tuned into Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. We'll take a short break and return.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. 34-year-old Ronald Armstrong, called Sargi, who was convicted on rape and burglary charges, was on Monday handed 2 life sentences. Back in 2013, Armstrong had broken into a young woman's home, pointed a gun to her and her 6-month-old baby, and raped her until she became unconscious. In June, a mixed 12-member jury unanimously found Armstrong guilty of sexually penetrating the 20-year-old woman, the then 20-year-old woman, without her consent on January 22nd, 2013. He was also found guilty of using a gun to rob the young woman of a quantity of gold jewelry, 2 laptop computers, and 2 television sets. Meanwhile, 9 years after Tushau's monthly stipend was increased to $30,000, President Ali has announced that $15,000 extra will be given to the Amerindian village leaders, taking their monthly allowance to $45,000. Ali, in making the announcement, pointed out that the $15,000 increase is merely $5,000 short of what was initially requested by the Tushaus, hinting that this request could be met soon. In addition, Ali noted that Deputy Tushaus will receive a 50% increase to their monthly stipend, which would see their allowance moving from $20,000 to $30,000. He was keen to note that in this case it is not the cabinet that is receiving 50 and 100% increases. It is the Tushaus, the leaders of the community. In other news, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union is not accepting a statement by Kaieteur insinuating that its representative was directly involved in the controversial selection of unsuitable tractors purchased to till soil for sugarcane cultivation. In a full-page center spread on Sunday, Kaieteur sought to address various issues facing the company, in particular the purchase of game-articulated tractors against John Deere fixed-frame machines, which is said to be better equipped. We had reported on several documents highlighting a rift between the sugar company's top brass over the purchase of what is understood to be unsuitable machines for the purpose of tillage. And now let's tell you, the Ministry of Health yesterday reported that 31 new COVID-19 infections were recorded during the last assessed 24-hour period. The new infections, which were detected from 195 tests, now bring the total number of confirmed cases to 68,225. 5 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU, 35 persons are in institutional isolation, 714 are in home isolation, while 2 are in institutional quarantine. Additionally, 15 persons have recovered within the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of confirmed recoveries to 66,209. With the time now moving on to 12 hours 11, we wrap things up with the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News. Time waits for no one. Did you notice? 2022 is already more than halfway through. How have you been spending your time these days? Gone are the days when we can sit idly by and watch time fly. With the many eerie unfolding, wars, outbreaks, uprisings across the world, there is a sense in the atmosphere that something major is imminent. Ready or not, whatever is coming will. The time is ripe to make the time you have left count. Choose your fate today, for time waits on no one. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar?